Artificial intelligence will wipe out humanity. That's what researchers from Google and the University of Oxford claim. So whether we have to prepare for the robot apocalypse soon, you can find out in this video, so be sure to stay tuned until the end. If you like it, I would be delighted to receive a thumbs up and a comment. Thank you very much, friends, and welcome. What are the greatest dangers for humanity? I have the feeling that many people have a somewhat false picture and that they are not even aware of the greatest danger, artificial intelligence. When we reach the point where self-learning algorithms exceed human intelligence, it is completely unclear what will happen. This event is called a technological singularity. The well-known transhumanist Ray Kurzweil estimates that this moment will come in 2045. That's not far off, and the fact that hardly anyone in politics is dealing with this issue is a bit worrying. Of course, the technological singularity not only entails risks, but also immense opportunities. An artificial superintelligence that is smarter than us and can learn on its own would develop rapidly and could make inventions in no time that could take our civilization to a whole new level. It would be the last great invention that humanity itself would have to make. But it could then, of course, also completely escape our control, and the consequences of this simply cannot be assessed in advance. Hopefully, no one will then say to us, "Hasta la vista, baby." Leading scientists have already dealt with this in a paper in which they paint a truly frightening AI future scenario in which the entire human race is wiped out. Researchers from Google Deepmind and the University of Oxford have been looking into the subject in more detail. Google Deepmind is an AI company that belongs to Google and is one of the world's leading companies in the field of artificial intelligence. Years ago, Deepmind developed an AI called AlphaGo for the board game Go, which is now better than all world-class human players. Its successor, AlphaZero, learned chess, Go, and shogi in a very short time. Even though it was only programmed with the rules of the game, it did not know any human tactics, but simply trained against itself for a few hours and has since become better than all human players. Some of the world's best Go players, such as Lee Sedol from South Korea, have already ended their careers because of this. He says, "With the introduction of artificial intelligence in Go games, I realized that I am not at the top. Even if I become number one through desperate efforts, even if I become number one, there is a being that cannot be defeated." I find it both frightening and fascinating, and it's been a few years since the development of AlphaGo and AlphaZero. Since then, a lot has happened, and we have come several steps closer to technological singularity. The researchers from Deepmind and the University of Oxford describe how machines will ultimately have an incentive to break the rules set by their creators, i.e. us, in order to compete for unlimited resources or energy. The research paper states, "A good way for an artificial intelligence to maintain long-term control over its reward is to eliminate potential threats and use all available energy to secure your computer." In principle, the paper thus carries out some thought experiments about the future of humanity with a super intelligent AI that works according to similar schemes as today's machine learning programs, for example with the principle of reward seeking. The AI is trained in the classic way with rewards and punishments. This is called reinforcement learning. In this case, of course, rewards and punishments do not consist of nice and nasty words, but are simply programmed as certain functions. And the researchers come to the conclusion that this scenario could lead to a zero-sum game between humans and AI, which would be fatal if humanity were to lose out. In a world with limited resources, artificial intelligence would ultimately conclude that the best tactic for continuing to receive rewards is to destroy humanity, which is competing for resources, not out of malice or negative feelings or anything like that, but simply as a rational consideration to increase the probability of continuing its own existence. The researcher involved, Michael Cohen, says, "In a world with finite resources, there is an inevitable competition for those resources. And if you are competing with something that is capable of outsmarting you at every turn, then you shouldn't expect to win." But couldn't you somehow prevent that? I can already hear some of you shouting,
"Then we just program the AI differently, with JavaScript or something."
That's the problem with a super intelligent artificial intelligence after the technological singularity. If we're not careful, we won't be able to modify such an entity. Our only and best chance is to think about such problems in advance and to build in protective mechanisms before the singularity happens. If we do that, I think the advantages of artificial intelligence will outweigh the disadvantages. We could live in a futuristic world full of prosperity, theory, in which we colonize the solar system with new technology, and classic work will be an unlimited good and therefore belong to the past in its current form. We just have to be careful that we approach the matter carefully and calmly, only initiate this technological singularity when we are really sure that we have considered all the risks. But it's a super complex topic, so I'd be very interested in your assessment of the whole thing. Is artificial intelligence more of an opportunity or more of a threat? Should we pursue it further, or do you think the danger to humanity is too great? Not only could the AI apocalypse be imminent, but so could the discovery of aliens. Robots are attacking from one side, aliens from the other. A Swiss researcher has explained exactly why we will discover aliens very soon. You can find out everything about this crazy story in the video below, and if you want to support the channel, please feel free to visit the online shop. Otherwise, I'd say see you in the next video. Take care, friends.